Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This is from the Breaking News app. Russia warns the United States, we have the might to put you in your place. And just as Russia has that bite, or has that bark, they have that bite as well. See, the nations, and we're starting with Russia, are no longer taking that BS from America, Babylon the Great. See, this is how you know that it's over for the whore that sitteth upon many waters. That whore is America, Babylon the Great. The waters represents the peoples. Represents the people. Let's get that. Let's go to the book. Revelation. Chapter 17. Verse 15, it says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. Salakia. Oh, yeah, so it says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. Now, this Lamb that it's speaking of is Yahweh Shai. Who's going to make war with the Lamb? The other nations. Right? World War III is going to be taking place. Yahweh Shai and the angels are going to make the return. And once they make the return, everyone's going to stop what they're doing. These nations, they're going to stop what they're doing, fighting amongst each other. And they're going to turn and fight against the Lord. So verse 14 again, it says, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So the whore that sitteth upon many waters, America, Babylon the Great, being at the top, the nations are the waters. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. And this is what you're starting to see. You're seeing the breaking of the alliance that America has put that America has put together through what? Through the NATO and the EU. The NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the EU is the European Union. So it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Because these nations are not going to stick together. Right? They're not going to, these nations are not sticking together. Let's get this precept in Obadiah real fast. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 7 says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border, the men that were at peace with thee. Because when you create an alliance with a nation or a kingdom, so to speak, then you are at peace amongst each other, right? Y'all have whatever type of agreement, with each other that you're supposed to, be in the same mind frame of not breaking, to stick together for and goal or whatever beneficial, that comes from y'all alliance, whether it be, trade, whether it be the backing up of, if you're needed when we call on you for aid when we're going to war. Or we may be having a problem, someone close to your country that you can go deal with, or when we come to deal with, you aid us. So you're supposed to be in agreement. You're supposed to be at peace, right? So it says, the men that were at peace have the peace with thee, have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee, right? And they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay, and the other nations, right, are the merchants, that are, eating and surviving, so to speak, off of America, Babylon the Great. Okay, when you go to the book of Revelation, I believe it's the 18th chapter, and I don't want to make this too long, I just want to, go in the spirit. Revelation, the 18th chapter, right, when America, Babylon the Great talks about this is the destruction of America, Babylon the Great. It's going into Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? It says, let's just go to verse 9. It says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Right? Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city. America, Babylon the Great, is known as the great city, the mighty city. Why you think, everyone wants to come to Babylon? Where we at? Yep. The mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Okay, and then you read further down, it goes into the merchandise. But these other nations, right, they eat, off of Babylon the Great. So going back to, what was we at before that? Obadiah, Revelation, in 17, yeah, it's in the 17th chapter. So Revelation chapter 17, verse 17. Slaki, I forgot where I was at. I might have been here though. Verse 17 says, for the Most High have put it. Where's it? Obadiah? Yeah, Obadiah. Salakia. Trying not to lose my point. Obadiah 1 verse 7 again says, all thy men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have prevailed, have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, and they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. Right? So yeah, this is talking about the other nations, the nations that were in league with Babylon the Great, and the nations that are in league with Babylon the Great. It's who? Right? The NATO. NATO and the EU. Now I believe America is part of NATO. Salakia. This is for another NATO countries. Not mistaken. I believe they're part of. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so America is part of NATO. And then you got the EU. Yep. So there go the NATO countries right there. All right. Let's go to the EU. United Nations. Boom. Wow. Okay. Yeah, why didn't it just... Alright, so here you go. The European Union. I just want the list. Alright, so boom. The European Union. They're good at countries. Alright, the EU countries. So there you go. Like I said, America. Babylon the Great is a part of NATO. Now, going back to the book of Revelation, 17th chapter. Verse 17, it says, for the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, because people don't understand. See, this is the will of the Most High, right? This breaking up, the division amongst the nations, a NATO country starting to deal with, an enemy, which is Russia, Gog and Magog, right? Starting to be armed by Gog and Magog, because it talks about in Ezekiel 38th chapter about Gog and Magog being a guard, okay, into particular nations. You see? And you're starting to see agreements and different, or deals being made with these different countries. Okay, countries are making different deals with Russia. You know? Turkey, for hints, just to throw a country out there. So for the Most High put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High should be fulfilled. And a woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And this is letting you know how America's on top. America is the one that is running things, right? So going back to this, kind of went off topic. So it says, Russia warns the United States, we have the might to put you in your place. Russia warned the United States on Thursday that Moscow had the might to put the world's preeminent superpower, the great city, right? It's coming together, the great city, in its place, and accused the West of stoking a wild Russophobic plot to tear Russia apart, which that's the media propaganda that E over here pushes forth. Because the Russians over there, they're Edomites as well, right? That's why the scriptures say Egyptian versus the Egyptian. Dmitry Medvedev, who served as president from 2008 to 2012 and is now the deputy secretary of the Russia's secret council in the United States, has stoked disgusting Russophobia in an attempt to force Russia to its knees. It will not work. Russia has the might to put all of our brash enemies in their place. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. For this lesson, I'm gonna go in on this through the spirit in another lesson, Lord willing. Okay, to just go strictly into this, but the point is, hey, look, Russia, right? Russia being that beer, okay, just showing you that Russia's gonna be the end of this thing. Let's go to the book of Revelation. I just want to try to get to the point. Okay, Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. It says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns." Right, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And this is going into the NATO and the EU. It's not talking about a literal, dragon, like a fairy tale coming up out of the sea. Right, and the beast which I saw was likened to a leopard, and that's going into Alexander the Great. And his feet were likened to, because that's the start of the Edomites. The Edomite empire or Edomite rulership started with the Greeks, the Edomites that went under the banner of the Greeks. And his feet were like of a bear, right? What is the symbol of Russia? The bear. All right, and that the feet represents what? The end, and that's what's going to come from. Russia, man. You see? And then to symbolize, when you go look at Alexander the Great, his symbol was like a leopard head. He was known for, said that he was known to wear a leopard head. You can see different photos of that. And his mouth is the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and in his seat and great authority. And I'm not going to go into the rest of that, but the point is that what? The feet of the bear, which that's Russia, and that's who the end is going to come through. World War III is going to be sparked, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, but it's going to be what? Through Russia, bringing that bringing down this helping to bring down this wicked, decrepit Edomite empire. Okay? So, I mean, that's just the point to the spirit I want to touch on it. Lord willing, hope is edifying. So next time I want to say, Shalom.